Hi, this is Rick Eymer with the Palo Alto Weekly, and we're here today with Tevah Gevelber, junior at Castilleja. She is a cross-country runner who just ran her personal best at the Stanford Invitational and was also the fastest time of any of our local runners. She finished second in the Division 5 race. And we'll start there just because I know we talked about the course you love so much, and just talk about the course and running it.
Well, that was a joke because I actually didn't love the course. It was pretty, I did like the flatness and I enjoyed the softness of the grassiness, but the course itself, it felt a little long. At one point, my coach, I actually used like the little breath I had left, and I was like, "Coach, how much longer?" Because I had no idea. And she goes, 1 mile, and my mouth just dropped open. I was like it cannot possibly be 1 more mile. But yeah, it was good, and I was with this other girl this whole time, which was really nice to have company, and she was killing it. I was like, this girl, so tough. So I was like, okay, just stay, and that's what I did.
Great. I mean, that's what you're supposed to do, to stay near the top, right? It's do you try to, like, what do they call that? Like, wind-aided thing?
I have no idea. Like, our coach would say, like, stick with her. Like, and one of her favorite mantras is, like, if she can do it, I can do it. So the idea is, you're both fit. You're both working hard. So if someone else is willing to put themselves out there and dig through that pain, then you probably can too. It's just a question of the mentality.
Great. Yeah, it's probably 90% mental. As Yogi Berra said, it's 50% of it is 90% mental, which is crazy like that. Now, of course, Crystal Springs is everybody's favorite course, right? I mean, that's where most of the league finals are held. Talk about that course a little bit.
So we have a race tomorrow on Crystal Springs, and I haven't been there since last year. So it's definitely, I think your memory kind of dulls the pain. You're like, oh, not as bad as, it can't be that bad. I think it's pretty hard. There are a couple like challenging hills, and especially at the end where you like see the finish and then you go out. That part's pretty brutal, I think, just mentally. But I know a lot of my teammates love that course, so I'm trying to see their perspective on it.
Right. Well, I understand the first mile is probably the most difficult, just because it's mostly all downhill, and all of a sudden it's all uphill.
Yeah, it's kind of weird. You like go out half a mile and then you come right back up.
Yeah. So cross country obviously is kind of a strange sport. It's a team sport in the fact that everybody scores for the team. But you're out there really all alone, and kind of like, what goes through your mind when you're in a 3-mile cross-country course?
Oh, that's a great question. I think it depends on the race, and just because I always love to bring this up. My team, my favorite humans team, if you're seeing this, I love you guys so much. So it doesn't feel individual. Like I've never, even in a race where you are by yourself, I never feel alone, and I see my coaches, sometimes teammates are cheering, sometimes parents are cheering. It never feels alone. But what goes through my head? I think for the first mile, I'm really happy. I'm like, wow, this is great. Like, I feel the wind in my hair. Look at me go. Look at everyone. We're all doing so good. And then I think around after the first mile, I stop thinking. Like, I lose the capacity to think anything besides just get through it, or like just keep going, or remember to move your arms or something like that. So
yeah, that's one way to do it. You try to get through that. I know, as I recall, I think you haven't been running cross country that long, and you just kind of, it's been in how many years? 3 or 4?
Well, so I started really freshman year, but I did shout out to Coach Vince. I'll have to show him this video. I did run with him in middle school. So, but it was a very different experience. This is much more intense.
Oh, I can imagine you're just having fun in middle school, I'm sure. Now, you reached state last year, and I would imagine that's kind of the goal again this year. And I mean, how do you kind of focus on that and then focus on the next race?
Yeah, I think it is. On our team, we talk a lot about long-term and short-term, and like balancing both, and how do you make sure that you do the right things in the short term to make sure that you can do what you want to achieve in the long term. So I think in terms of state, we're just going to do what we can, work hard every day at practice, show up at our races, be mentally prepared, be mentally present whenever you're there, because we're not racing all that much, so every race is pretty important. So I guess just focusing on the moment, but also being able to see that long-term vision and keep that goal like in your head.
Do you stay in shape pretty much from cross country through to track?
I try. My freshman year I did soccer. This year or last year I just ran on my own, but it's hard to find that balance where you're not overdoing it, but you're still in good shape to go. I think I overdid it a little bit, and then I had shin splints a little bit. So this year I'm hoping to strike a better balance.
So we've been talking to Tevah Gevelber. She is our Athlete of the Week this week, and congratulations.
Thank you.
And if you want to find out next week's Athlete of the Week, just hit that subscribe button down below or visit us at pasportsonline.com.